Good evening, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's cover the news real quick. Let's get into everything, and we'll go from there. All right. Hope you guys had a great day today. After a 10-year hiatus, the Quasar silo dock has been reopened. After a 10-year hiatus, it's been reopened. Let's look at the key points on this. Okay. Let's look at why maybe it was shut down and what took it quite a while to reopen. It says silo dock reopening. Why did it sit idle for 10 years? According to the Ministry of Trade's statement, out of service since 2016, dock and silo were shut down due to what officials described as gross negligence. Maintenance needed was reportedly minor at the time, but was not performed. Over time, damage worsened, especially the waterfront structure of a dock. Core inflation narrative. A prior study estimated $48 billion to rehabilitate both the dock and silo. The new management post-2023 claims it completed usable rehabilitation for only 1.9 billion dinar. Okay. That suggests either the original study was inflated or the current repair focused only on essential functionality, not a full modernization or rehab. Political budget factors from 2016 to 2022 period. Iraq was dealing with the ISIS war aftermath, severe oil price collapse, COVID disruptions, political gridlock, delayed budgets, and so forth. Okay. What changed? New management at the grain trading company, coordination with silo engineers, prime minister backed reopening. First Romanian wheat vessel unloaded after 10 years. Revenue model reinstated. 35% salary, 65% state treasury, and so forth. So, again, it's good to see the reopening trade and getting back in the game. And then, does this have anything to do with going international? Yes, indirectly. And it says, here's how everything connects. Strengthening sovereign trade handling capacity reduces reliance on private intermediaries, improves customs inspections control, important if the Escudia integration expands, so forth. Okay. WTO accession, food security, export signaling. All right. Iranian currency. Circulation booms with high profits. We can look at this even though it's not real critical to what's happening with Iraq. Oh, you know what? Sorry, guys. I didn't put a summary on this one anyway. It was revealed today, Wednesday, the growing practice of currency trading between Iran and Iraqi traders through the purchase of sums in Iranian currency and their re-entry into electronic accounts before transferring them back to Iran to take advantage of price differences between the two markets. The merchant said that some Iranian traders arrive with sums of Iranian currency for the purpose of selling it and then proceed to buy other sums of the same currency, which are then put into bank cards or electronic accounts before being transferred back to Iran or as part of these operations. So anyway, if you want to read it, check it out. It's posted here for you. Coordination framework is heading towards a crucial meeting before the end of a new U.S. deadline. On this one, it says a political source reported today, Wednesday, that the forces of the coordination framework are heading towards holding a decisive meeting in the coming hours to decide on their candidate of the premiership before the end of the new American deadline, which is tomorrow, Thursday. Okay. Then it says we're going to cover these a few other paragraphs here. The source indicated an American message reached one of the leaders of the framework demanding a decision within 48 hours before a request was made through a mediator to extend the deadline by an additional 5 days, which ends tomorrow, Thursday, making the anticipated meeting crucial. He added that leaders within the framework are pushing for the withdrawal of Nouri Maliki's nomination, while other parties are hesitant at that. And right now, he doesn't have anywhere enough votes to get a 2/3 majority vote to get him in. Iraq is witnessing a division over the nomination of Maliki for the next government amid American warnings of the repercussions of his selection. And as you guys see, I see things a lot differently than most people because I search the news. But to me, this is nothing more than it's just scripted political news for whatever the current delay is. And the fact that Trump told us and clearly stated that he will not allow an Iranian influence in Iraq that would suggest, because again, we don't have proof on this, that would suggest the current delay could possibly be what's happening between the U.S. and Iraq, because Trump said no Iranian influence in Iraq. Let's look at the next article here. All right, stronger bilateral ties depend on U.S.'s sovereign decision making. The U.S. decision of making, U.S. diplomat says. So Iraq bilateral ties depend on Iraq's sovereign decision making, U.S. diplomat says. President Barzani on Wednesday met with Joshua Harris of Charge d'Affaires of the U.S. Embassy in Iraq. Discussions of strengthening bilateral ties, advancing regional stability, and reinforcing the strategic partnership between Kurdistan and Washington. According to the press release, Barzani, following the meeting, Harris emphasized that the United States supports the Kurdistan region within the framework of a federal Iraq. He understood Washington's recognition of President Barzani's role in the Iraqi political process since 2003, describing it as vital to the country's political trajectory and future stability. The U.S. diplomat further noted the United States seeks a strategic partner with both Iraq and the Kurdistan region. He stressed that the development of stronger bilateral relations depends on Iraq's sovereignty in decision-making and its commitment to prioritizing national interests above other considerations. And again, one thing I just clearly want to stress in this, guys. I brought this up once. I want to share it again so it's in your head. You don't forget. If Iraq was such a big, unstable political mess where they can't get along and all that, in the past, this happened numerous times across many different. I've been in this for 17 years and I've searched the news for a very long time. Either the UN or U.S. officials, such as the ambassador, intervened to help them reach political resolution and establish agreements towards their politics. There is no foreign intervention. Both the UN and U.S. are completely out of these politics. Okay? If they really had disagreements, there would be foreign intervention to guide them through it. Okay? They have to delay this because of other probably geopolitical events that are really happening. Okay? Let's move on. All right. What do you call it? Tomorrow is when Ramadan starts over there. Let's look at this article right here. 6 leaders of Iraq's main Shiite bloc withdraw support for Nouri al-Maliki's U.S. pressure. So again, six more leaders are saying have withdrawn their support. Again, he doesn't have a 2/3 majority. There's no way in hell he can get this. Okay, it's not even worth reading. The title tells us everything we need to know. They have to have a 2. It says right here, it says right now, it says 2/3 now opposed. It says according to the movement member, 2/3 of the Shiite seats inside the framework now oppose Maliki. They need a 2/3 majority to win. So in other words, according to this right here, he's out. He does not have this. Okay. Next article here. Hakim stresses the importance of completing electoral elections and strengthening the unity of the coordination framework. So again, we don't need to read this article, not real critical here. It says the U.S. is ready to use a full range of tools to counter Iran's destabilizing activities in Iraq. Again, this is telling you, this is strongly hinting, suggesting the Iranian influence has got to be removed. So, because right there it says the U.S. is ready to use a full range of tools to counter Iran's destabilizing activities in Iraq. Okay. And that right there is most likely the reason why we have not seen the rate change yet. But I've got more good articles for you to really show you that it's the formation of the government is the linchpin to Iraq revaluing and getting back on the international world stage. Okay. The Iraqi economy has maintained its stability despite the challenges. The financial advisor to the Prime Minister, Masr Mohammed Saleh, confirmed today, Wednesday, that the Iraqi economy has maintained its stability despite the challenges. Saleh said, according to the official newspaper, the announced figures for the Consumer Price Index, which is the official indicator for the annual inflation compared to 2024, show high stability in the standard of living and the value of cash income per capita in Iraq. Sela added that the inflation growth rate did not exceed the very low level, noting that the number came below the normal fraction of acceptable annual price growth, which usually ranges between 2 and 3%, which gives a positive indication of the ability of Iraq to maintain price stability despite the various economic challenges. Okay, so good stuff there, and their inflation right now is very low. All right. To settle the final accounts, a high-level Kurdistan delegation will arrive in Baghdad. Now, this does not have anything to do with their politics or elections, okay? And let's go to the key points on this. It says, it says the Assistant PM of the Kurdistan Regional Government Financial Affairs, a high-level delegation, authorized delegation will visit Baghdad next week. Originally scheduled for this week, postponed for several reasons. Will take aim to settle the final accounts between the federal government. And you know what this really has everything to do with? The final accounts almost has majority to do with basically creating the 26 budget. It's from the Kurdistan region's angle. It's their figures within the budget. That's what this has to do with. See right here, budget transfers, oil revenue disputes, salary payments, federal entitlements, audit and accounting, reconciliations. Okay, has everything to do with the 26 budget. So again, just showing you how close you are to the budget period. Remember, budget periods have everything to do with timing, the rate change, all that. I've shown that to you guys significantly. All right, let's look at this one right here. Actually, hold on. There were some other ones. Let's look at this one. TAFE Sammy, we are continuing the financial reform package to enhance economic stability. Remember, the reforms have everything to do with the timing of the rate change and so forth. The Ministry of Finance is continuing the implementation of the financial reforms objective, strengthen economic stability, improve efficiency of public financial management, align with modern international standards right there. Align with modern international standards. Yeah, if you're going to align with international standards, you're rejoining the international world to adhere to international standards. It's that simple, okay? So that has everything to do with the timing of the rate change. It's clear as day. U.S. State Department. Nominating Maliki will force us to reassess our relationship with Iraq. Yeah, guys, this is all, again, it's scripted delay news. In my opinion, there's no credibility to this. Hold on here. Let's look at this one. The coordination framework is heading towards a crucial meeting before. Yeah, we have covered this. And sorry, guys, I posted this twice. Let's look at this interesting article here. All right, it says, these are just more from the key points. It says, Phase 1, resolve presidency government formation. Phase 2, accelerate legislative and economic reform execution. But again, to do Phase 2, technically the rate change would be Phase 2. Okay, so after Phase 1, Phase 2 would actually be the rate change here. And then Phase 3 would be accelerate legislative and economic reform execution. Phase 3, deeper trade and financial integration. They get deeper trade when they have a tradable, internationally recognized currency. Okay, so the rate change actually comes after Phase 1. The Sudanese president stressed the need to fulfill constitutional requirements and form a government. Again, form a government that's capable of completing the economic recovery. The reason why nobody's been able to complete the economic recovery, which are the reforms, because the rate hasn't changed. So to complete the economic recovery after the government's reform, see, this article is confirming to you that the government formation is the linchpin to the rate change. Another confirmation on that. All right. And then so once the government's formed, then the rate can change because it's the linchpin to it. Then they can launch the reforms and complete the economic recovery, and having a convertible tradable currency will allow them to do that. Okay. Next article here, coordination framework. The bloc's positions have changed, and the next phase, again, the next phase means when they go international, will witness the birth of a strong government here. So really it's more the other way around, that a new, strong, formed government will be because they're the linchpin to all the rate change and going international. So once they have a new, strong, formed government, that will allow them to enter into what they're telling you, the next phase. Okay? And that's why they will become a strong government, because they will be international, internationally recognized with the tradable convertible currency. All right. So yeah, they have a crucial meeting now before the tomorrow U.S. deadline. The House Representative adjourns its session to, and this was from earlier this morning anyway, to vote on when they're going to schedule their sessions during the month-long period of Ramadan. The Iraqi government imposes new custom duties. Again, this all has to do with going international. Let's look at this. Let me see if I put some key points. I did. Perfect. So, Prime Minister Soudani chaired the 7th regular session. Again, they have their council and minister meetings, which are their cabinet meetings, every Tuesday. So this article is technically from yesterday. It says right here, 20% customs duty on paper cups. Notice how all of this, and it says implementation within 120 days. Look at that. Okay. So again, it gets implemented after the rate has changed and so forth. Then the budget's approved and put in effect and all that. Okay. But the rate has to change in order for that to be implemented. All right. So basically within the next 2 months is what they're saying. 120 days. Or no, I'm sorry. Sorry about that, guys. Actually be 4 months. So anyway. But that does not mean don't be like my troubled diva on my forum that's going to say, "Oh no, we have to wait 4 more months for the rate change." Don't even go there. That's not what this means. Okay. It just the rate has to change. There's steps where they've got a lot of laws to approve. They've got reforms to do. They've got some of the reforms have to be implemented and fully approved. There's a lot of front end steps they have to do for all this to go. Okay, that's not so. 4 months doesn't mean that you're waiting 4 months for the rate change. Anyway, good stuff there. Hold on, guys. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else. Right here, awaiting coordination between Iraq and Syria. The Nineveh border artery is nearing its return to life. Yep, that'll be for trade. Oh, excuse me, guys. And I think that's it. Friends, you're the best. Thank you for taking the time to join me and support me. And thank you to everyone who really just jumps in and contributes and put their own time and effort into bringing cool studies and important information into the chat room. You guys are the best. Thank you for everything you do, and have a great evening. Take care.